The fiery duel on Mustafar is by far one of the most intense and emotional battles in all of Star Wars, pitting two of the galaxy's greatest heroes against each other in a brutal fight to the death. Former brothers turned to bitter rivals. The duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan's clash is a showdown that has been long burned into our minds. But have you ever wondered as to how Obi-Wan was even able to beat Anakin? While many people like to chalk up Obi-Wan's victory over Anakin to two simple factors, overconfidence on Anakin's part and Obi-Wan's use of the high ground, which yes is literally a lightsaber technique, there's actually a lot more to the story than meets the eye. To really grasp the shock of Obi-Wan's win, we first need to understand the power dynamic between the two Force wielders. Now it should go without saying that Obi-Wan wasn't exactly the strongest Jedi. In fact, his midichlorian count was said to be one of the lowest in the entire order. Even Qui-Gon Jinn was surprised by how low it was. And so, what did Obi-Wan do? He had to put in twice the work for the same results, turning himself into a Jedi who embodied patience, determination, and discipline. And while he originally studied under Form 4 Ataru, he quickly favored and mastered Form 3 Sorzu, the most defensive lightsaber form in all of the forms. And the form was really all about defense, energy conservation, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. However, it should be stated that it was nearly impossible for a Form 3 practitioner to mount a proper counter-offense, unless of course you were Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was also stated by Mace Windu and countless other Jedi Masters that he was the undisputed master of this form, second to none. And on the other side of the ring, we've got Anakin, who had one of the highest, if not the highest midichlorian count ever recorded. And due to becoming naturally gifted, he didn't have to put in that much work for his abilities, which did play into his lack of patience and discipline. But what Anakin lacked in patience, he made up for it in sheer aggression and strength. He also quickly mastered Form 5 Xian/Stigem So, a style built around defense and relentless offense. And boy, does he show that in the fight, as Anakin's constantly pushing Obi-Wan back with his ferocious strikes. But here's the kicker, these two sparred countless times before. But here's the real kicker, it was said that before this time, the two have sparred against each other thousands of times. And because of that, the fight was incredibly difficult as they knew each other's moves inside and out. This is where Obi-Wan's first advantage really shines, his superior patience. While Anakin was all fire and fury playing chess, Obi-Wan instead was playing 4D checkers, thinking about every single strike and counter. This comes to head in the infamous high ground scene, where Obi-Wan warned Anakin to not try it, but Anakin, being Anakin, couldn't resist trying to pull off the same move that Obi-Wan used on Darth Maul and Naboo. But why was that? It was because he wanted to prove that even with the high ground disadvantage, he could still win. But spoiler alert, it did not work out. But here's the really fascinating part. Obi-Wan didn't just win because of the high ground. According to the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, it states, the Sith Lord ignored Obi-Wan, blinded with rage. As Vader leapt at Kenobi, his blade angled to kill, he left himself open, allowing Kenobi to execute a vicious Moiki finishing move, dismembering Vader with one swift strike. And for those of you unfamiliar, Moiki is a forbidden lightsaber technique that literally means dismemberment of an opponent, cutting through several limbs at once. However, this was heavily forbidden within the Jedi Order as they deemed it barbaric. But hey, sometimes desperate times calls for desperate measures, right? However, would things have changed if Anakin really had stopped for just a second, or just tossed some lava with the Force to give himself the lava ground? Things might have gone differently. But even without the high ground, I don't believe things would have ended differently. I firmly believe that if they kept on fighting, Obi-Wan still would have won. His style was specifically designed to conserve energy while Anakin's burned through it. And sometimes slow and steady really does win the race, even if it leaves your opponent limbless. This really just goes to show that even though Anakin had more natural talent and the power of the dark side, it was his arrogance and hubris and Obi-Wan's patience that led to his downfall. But anyway, that is how Obi-Wan was able to beat Anakin on Mustafar. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, it would mean a lot to me if you could like and subscribe, as it would help the channel out a ton. Also, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to click on screen now to watch another one. And also, while you're down there, make sure to comment what your top questions are about Star Wars so I can answer them in a future video. And with that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you.